with these injuries and the fate of last Sunday and this team going to 5-5, how high is your panic meter with this team right now?
Mitchell, my panic meter has been high since the Arizona Cardinals lost. So it can't go any higher. It's been high. I've been panicked. I've been concerned. I've lost sleep. I think my hair was falling out at times. Like stress, because I don't know the answers. Usually I watch the tape and it's clear and you're like, hey, pass rushing, or hey, push the ball down the field, or turnovers, or red zone. And right now you're watching these games and you're like, it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. It's like a Thanksgiving plate. Like you got a little bit of everything. It's a taste of everything, a helping of all these mistakes that are leading to a plate full of disappointment. And that's the part that as a fan of the organization and program, I just watch and I'm like, man, this is such a talented team. And I know how it feels to have the fatigue of losing a Super Bowl. Like it sucks. And no matter how much you try to tell yourself and you're mentally strong and you're like, there's no fatigue, it gets you. And to lose one, some of the guys have lost two. They've lost NFC championships. Like that weighs on you if you care enough. And it weighs on your emotion, and the emotions weigh on your spirit, Mitchell, and it just sits on you. And so I thought last year had to be the year. I thought it had to be the year. When they got there, they had the Kansas City Chiefs where they wanted them. I thought it had to be the year. And as this year has progressed, you've seen the holdouts, and then the holdouts end, and then you see the injuries, and the injuries just keep mounting. I mean, Brandon Aiyuk has the season-ending injury. Javon Hargrave, season-ending injury. And it's football. And you have these things happen when you just don't have the luck. The luck isn't with you in that season. So you don't have the injury luck. And then the ball's not necessarily bouncing your way. You're not getting the calls that you used to get, or the bounces, or the turnovers, and unfortunately they're giving up points late in ball games on defense. When Nick goes out, the pass rush goes away. And we just talked to Gino about that. It just was a different game, and they weren't getting home as much. And again, you got foundational pieces like Eric Armstead. And I know the fans are like, he's always injured, or he's this, that, and the other. But when he's playing, he is a huge factor to what they're doing. He was a huge reason they were having so much success, just like DeForest Buckner when him and Eric were together. And I was there. I had no problem buying those men lunch and dinner, because big dogs eat first. And those big dogs was hunting that year. And it's just all culminating. It's all culminating. You're just not seeing the same ferocity from everybody. Now, you're still seeing the same guys play hard, but when you're missing George Kittle in the game, he's a tone setter for this team. He's a stabilizing force. When he's not in the game, you just wonder where it's going to come from. And it was coming from Jawan Jennings, but it just seems like every time Jawan plays well, they find a way to lose the game. It's like, hey, Jawan's having a great game, guys. Like, we're not gonna get this one. But I say all that to say, this team has went on runs before, and I think it's possible. Brock Purdy, I think he obviously plays in this game, but it's gonna take a Herculean effort from this defense. Something's gonna have to change. They're gonna have to flip the switch and really go into elite mode and start to swarm and start to make impacts on these games. Not just Fred Warner, but everybody. Diamador Lenore, Talanoa Hufanga is gonna have to come back and make an immediate impact. They're going to have to spice it up. They're going to play with a sense of urgency and desperation that I just haven't seen this season, and I hope I see it this week.
Well, Richard, you were a team captain in San Francisco. You've seen and been in numerous big-time games. This season is not over for San Francisco, not yet. They still are more than capable of winning this division. What would you tell the locker room if you were still playing with the team, to try to uplift their spirits out there? Is there anything you would say to try to hype them up?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not hyping them up, but I'd be totally honest with them. We lock the door. Hey, coaches, y'all leave. And we'd say, hey, how much y'all want it? Like, if y'all want to go home in January, let's end this meeting now. Let's go home, start to pack up, book our vacations, and call it a year. But if y'all serious about being championship team, and you got to show it. You can't wait. You can't wait for guys to make a play. You can't wait for guys to show up and save you. Every single person, 53 guys, have to think the game is on them. It's on your performance. And not, oh man, I wonder if Christian's going to play well today and we're going to win. Like, no, you have to be the star. You have to take responsibility for this team's win. You can't depend on anybody else. Everybody has to play with that sense of urgency. The rent is god dang due. The rents due. You got to play like the rents do. And if you're not playing like the rents do, you're getting evicted and we going home. So if you don't care about going home and you don't care about winning championship, fold it in. But I don't think they got those guys. I don't think they got guys that's going to fold it in. So you need to play like the rents do.
Richard, you got me motivated to run through a brick wall. So I believe in the San Francisco 49ers, and I think they have those leaders that have been in those situations before ready to go. And like you said, losing a Super Bowl cannot be easy, but for them to still be in this divisional race, and at the end of the day, you know, they got the Arizona Cardinals the last game of the season.